Alright, so you completed Starfield and now have the daunting task of completing the game multiple times in order to rank up all of your abilities to level 10. Fortunately for you, I've done this so many times I've gotten it down to a science. The quickest paths, the minimal amount of money you'll need, and the list of items you'll need to get through it all in just a couple of hours. So, if you've hit that wall and don't feel the need to explore, or you're relatively new to the game and you want the best advice to speed through your replay, this series of videos is going to spell out exactly what you need. I'm Late to the Gamer, this is Console and Control Gaming, and in this first video, we're going to start at the beginning of a fresh New Game Plus, and you'll get all the tips and all the checkpoints you'll need to get your run on its way. Obviously, there are a few spoilers ahead, but feel free to write spoiler full video in the comments section in case no one knows what New Game Plus means. You've entered Unity and have come out the other side in a starborn ship in Vectera's orbit. Although the first quest marker is instructing you to go to New Atlantis, we're going to hold off on that to take care of a couple of tasks. First, we're going to land on Vectera. If you aren't aware, the situation you arrive to on Vectera will dictate the possibilities of what you could walk into when you enter the lodge. If there's no one on the ground in Vectera, you're walking into a set of altered intros that will leave you without Constellation members. This means you've got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. You could just be walking into a situation where the Constellation artifacts, a cutter, and some money are just handed to you, or you could have to fight to the death to start off your game. Fortunately, Vectera will have some useful items you will need to scavenge and sell. When people are on Vectera, the hab on the right will malfunction and you won't be able to enter. But if you find yourself in a situation like mine, it'll be open. Head inside and grab anything of value. Heller's cutter will be on the right. It's the only rare cutter in the game, and also in the office, there's a key to the room in the back. Pick up everything that has decent value, all the healing packs, and anything that can be used for modding weapons and spacesuits. There is usually a digipick inside, and a safe with some items you need, and sometimes even some cash. Also, these batteries will sell at an okay price, so pick them all up. There's about 9 or 10 on Vectera. We're gonna head over to the other hab and do the same thing. You should find another digipick. If you rank high enough in lockpicking, I do suggest opening that previous safe and also opening the small cache of weapons and money in this hab. There's usually about $3,500 sitting in the cache. After that, you're going to need to quickly head down the elevator and speed over to the artifact site and cut out 3 pieces of calamite. You don't really need to do this, but I always do it because it doesn't take too much time out of my run. It's about a minute in total. With a few spacesuits, weapons, batteries, and healing items, you're ready to leave Vectera, and you should have, give or take, about $4,500 on hand. We're going to head straight to New Atlantis because, unfortunately, the eye isn't available yet. There are some useful items inside, but we're going to have to double back here after we reach the lodge. When you get to New Atlantis, sell that junk immediately. The spacesuits, it's all trash. You're going to pick up a better suit, and any weapons that you don't really like, get rid of them now. Then I want you to head straight to the mercantile and purchase trauma packs, med pack, and at least 2 aid items that boost your defense between 250 and 300 damage resistance. Every time you go into another New Game Plus, enemies do an additional 10% damage to you. You're most likely only anywhere between 20 and 30% damage resistance with the Starborn armor, and if you're walking into an ambush, you'll need some extra defense. Before we walk inside, we're going to add the meds, the drugs, the weapons of choice, phase time, and anti-gravity field to your quick swap. If you are walking into an ambush, phase time could save your life here, and anti-gravity field will make everybody in the room pretty much useless. If you have less than 5 healing items and less than 2 drugs, you need to go to another merchant. Alright, moment of truth. Okay, I got lucky. With your spoils now and your $25,000, head into the basement and grab up all the items in the chest, the weapons, the ammo, and the spacesuit in the back. This suit in total has better base defense, but is missing all the good mods. So what we're going to do is do a quick shopping list. I'm going to have that posted on the screen as we're doing our shopping. Next thing we're going to do is head to the eye. On the eye, we're going to be grabbing some more items that we can be using for modding that we do not need to purchase because we'll get them here. And they're a little bit harder to find usually at New Atlantis. These things always spawn here on the eye. Check the shelves, check the back room. You will find some ammo, monopropellants, and a few other items we're going to need, all part of this grocery list here. After that, we're actually going to zoom right back to Mass. And instead of going up to the lodge again, we're going to check out the well, especially especially that electronics store. You're usually going to get a couple of the items that you need, usually like 0G gimbal or zero wire, and maybe a few other components that we need here, especially the microsecond regulators, which is why I had sent you to the eye. Sometimes they don't show up, and there are usually 2 on the eye for you there. Also, if you do see 2 sterile nanotubes, pick them up. In the list I provided, I've included what you need to craft them if you don't see them for sale. Next stop is going to be the Trade Authority, and if you see that they're selling the Coachman, buy it. If they don't, just complete as much of the resource shopping list as possible. After getting whatever we can, the next 2 best stores for items that we're going to need are going to be 1, the Mercantile Store again here on New Atlantis, and the last spot is actually going to be on Cheyenne. Cheyenne is going to be good because in Aquila City, we can buy the Coachman when we can buy ammo from 2 different stores in relatively close proximity to each other. With the $25,000 you've been given, you have plenty money to buy at least 200 caseless shotgun shells and the gun and still have about $10,000 left. Other items you'll probably want to pick up is if you see a Hippolyta or a Paramore, pick up at least 1. If you see amps, purchase those as well. And you also should try to pick up 4 aids that cure frostbite and 4 meds that can cure hypothermia. You'll need these for the end of the game, and if you get them now, you won't have to get them later. Picking up all these items should be a breeze between going to the first store as soon as you reach Aquila, the store in the back that usually only sells rocks and minerals, and by that point, you should be all set. You should have a complete list. So just head back to the lodge and start crafting. You'll be able to make a pack that now has hazard protection, medic and balance boost pack, a helmet and spacesuit with ballistic shielding, explosive shielding, heavy shielding, and gravitic composites. And lastly, your Coachman should be a death machine. Laser sight, reflex sight, choke, tactical stock, hornet nest, and high power. Now you're all set for the next phase of the game, and you shouldn't have any reason throughout this next phase to stop at a store or get any items at all. The only other item you will need on hand will be amp, and that's from when you're grinding out the temples. Each amp is only 1 argon, 1 metabolic agent, and 1 toxin, things that you'll be finding as you complete the next phase of the game. Once again, I'm Late to the Gamer, and this was part 1 of New Game Plus Made Easy. In the next video, we're going to be looking at the optimal paths into getting all of the artifacts. I'll see you guys next time.